Cedric wins by a final of 486 to 296 in game one, and we'll be on to game two in just a moment. Match score is now 1-0 Cedric as we await game two. Yeah, 486 to 296, the final. It was a pretty close game early on. Cedric got down exalted for 75 to take a small lead, but Martin kept scoring until the middle game and then just kind of ran out of high-scoring tiles, had to fight through some dreck there. In any event, it is on to game two, and it'll be Martin looking to draw even in the series 1-1. He is going first, and he plays Cobb, keeping ELPT, a decent leave on turn one. Now, it's Cedric's turn to fight through some dreck. He's got all 7 consonants to start this one. He plays Rolly, R-O-L-L-Y. Not sure if that's a word, but I'm pretty rusty on the 5, so don't take my word for it. Yeah, that is not good. It's only Rolly with an I-E, not a Y. Martin's going to let it go, and he's going to play Trolley with a Y, which I think is also not good. No, that Trolley's good. Just kidding. Trolley can be spelled with a Y or an E-Y. All right, so Zany comes down from Cedric, and we got a close game so far, 40 to 39. It's still early. The J on Martin's rack. I see the hot spot for Ja. Oh, he plays J underneath it for 40. Nice play. Okay. So Martin with the first high-scoring play of the game, and he takes a small lead, and it's back to Cedric, who's got a little bit of a clunker with the UV combination and not much doing with it. The mic is still peaking a lot. All right, let's try and turn that down a little bit more. I feel like I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't, because the sound is not loud enough if I don't use the gain filters, but it's going to sound weird if I do use them. Let's try a middle ground. Okay, so I turn the filters down a little bit more. I hope that I'm loud enough to be heard, but also not really messed up with the filters. All right, so Twinges is the first bingo of the game for Martin. And he's now got about a 100-point lead, looking to draw even in this series with Cedric here in game two. Budak, Cedric Lewis, has the other blank, though. He's going to play Pier, P-I-R, opening a triple on the right side of the page. On the right side of the board, I should say. Getting better, but can still go down further. Okay, I'll see what I can do about that. Let's quickly adjust those filters a little bit more. Okay, let's try that. Only turned up 1.5 decibels rather than the previous 30 that it was at, so this should be a little bit better. Do you guys use Wiggle's dark mode? I'm more of a plain white background kind of guy myself, but I guess we can agree to disagree on that. All right, so Budak plays Liquored for 74. So Cedric kind of keeps this game competitive, and he's doing a pretty good job so far. On Beats is on the rack for Martin. And it looks like there's only the one spot to play on Beats, just in line 14, making nets. He's not playing it right away. Martin does occasionally have some brain farts where he misses the high probability bingos. Oh, okay, and he plays Bone. A little bit suboptimal. We'll see if he can draw something next turn to get out of that, though. Keeping AST can cover up for your mistakes pretty nicely. All right, so for Cedric now, getting a little bit low on time, under a minute to go. We are playing with 1 minute overtime, so the players do have that little cushion there. Tag the play from Cedric, which closes off bingos a little bit in line 14. It's going to make things a little bit harder for him in a way. So Martin now up by 61, 260 to 199. And he doesn't need to open anything at this point. He can kind of keep the board pretty nicely closed the way it is now. All right, so he plays Vest. That V is going to keep the board nice and close, although the problem is that Vest is going to take hooks. You can spell Vests or Vesta, I believe is a word. So that's a new spot on the board that he's got to worry about. Ooh, slowish comes down from Martin. A big, big play from Martin. That's going to put him ahead by over 150, and it looks like Martin's going to be safely winning this one. 8 tiles in the bag, and Cedric needs to bingo multiple times. So after dropping the first game, it looks like Martin's going to draw even in the series at 1-1, and we got ourselves a close match. We've seen a lot of pretty lopsided matches so far in BlitzChamps, a lot of 8-1s, and even I think there was a 9-0 yesterday involving David Eldar. So definitely in the mood for a closer match this time around, and so far we've got it with these two players tied 1-1 as soon as they finish playing out the string here. Cedric does get the X-Bomb of Axe for 50. That'll keep the final score a little bit respectable, but Martin is still up over 100 with 3 in the bag. So for these two players, it's it's going to be a long series. Cedric is the 5 seed in this group, and Martin is the 6, so they're fairly evenly matched by rating. They're both pretty strong players, and I think they're both pretty comfortable playing fast as well. So I would expect these two to be competitive with each other. And speaking as a player is in their group, like I said, I'm looking forward to getting to watch their game and kind of see how they play. Both players have been pretty comfortable so far with the time control. You see them both going a little bit over the 3 minutes allotted, but not too far over. You get that 1 minute cushion before you forfeit on time. And neither player's come even close to that so far. So they just play out the end game here, and Martin does win by a final of 429, 325. So Cedric wins game 1, and Martin takes game 2 to make it a 1-1 series. We'll see if they take a little breather before game 3 or if they jump right into it. Looks like they're not going to start just yet. I'll try and keep another eye on Jesse Day, who's also playing his match against Ayman Zufari. Looks like those two guys are perhaps still in game 1. No, they're in game 2. Jesse's up 1-0. Meanwhile, we're waiting on the start of game 3 between Cedric and Martin. This one was reasonably close with Cedric within 1 bingo late, and then slowish was the dagger that finally finished Martin. For Martin, I should say, in Martin's favor. Anyway, game 3 getting underway right now. It is Cedric's turn to go first in this series tied 1-1. Game 3 getting started, and Yes, the opening play for 30 from Cedric. A little bit of a vowel-heavy rack for Martin. Maybe he'll look for a way to dump something like Aua, A-U-A. Or Uta for a little bit more points. That's 25. It keeps a little bit of a clunky vowel-heavy leave. 30 to 25 early. A little bit of a closed board potentially. We'll see how that turns out. E-E-H-L-N-R-U. What can you do? Lair. Okay, 15 points for Lair, and that's going to open the board pretty nicely. Juparis is on the rack. I believe that's a word. Oh, it's Pujaris, not Juparis. And he does find it. Nice play by Martin. Clearly showing better word knowledge than me. I thought it was something different. All right, so Juvie is the play from Cedric. And, ooh, Martin is drawn quite well. Definitely some bingos here. Like, yeah, shockers for 104. Shocking indeed for Cedric, is now in a deep hole. 213 to 175 early in this one. So for Cedric, it's going to be tough to come back, but you do have the potential for the Judy's hook. You have a double-double open through an E. There's plenty of really juicy lanes to bingo, and you're going to need them. We'll see if Cedric can draw well and find some bingos here and get back in it. The rack he's got right now looks a little bit wanting for something. He needs an S for ecumenism, or no, not ecumenism, that's a 9. He doesn't have anything, let's just put it that way. Nuclei, way to play through some of these one-pointers. And for Martin, definitely no bingo, but lots of ways to score pretty nicely. Ooh, extra typo points out in the chat that koshers would have been even more than shockers. Wow. Yeah, that's true. With the H on the double and the whole word triple, that would have been pretty sweet. But as it is, Martin is in control either way. He is up by almost 150 now as he gets down woo. Both players playing pretty quickly. Martin has used less than a minute the whole game and we're on turn 12. Martin has the Q. There's a spot to play QI for 44, or 42, I should say. I'm guessing he'll just play it, although he does have some clunky tiles aside from the Q that you might want to deal with. Martin pausing here for a little bit of a think. I think you have to just play the Q. It's too many points to give up to do anything else, but Martin is definitely taking his time to consider it. 122 point lead, 266 to 144. Cedric looking to, bingo multiple times. That's really the only way to get back into this one. Finally, Martin does play the Q, and he's up over 160 now. So after losing game one, looks like Martin is back in control after a successful game two and a very strong game three so far. So Leia sizes is the bingo from Martin. That'll put him up by about 120 and continues to play very fast. For Martin, I mean, when he draws the tiles and finds his words, he can play very, very quickly, and we're seeing that in this one. Cedric has just not been able to keep up. Playing fast enough, but just not getting the goods from the tile bag, and Martin has been drawing well and playing well so far, at least as far as I can tell. I see Jesse in the chat saying that he exchanged letters he meant to keep in exchange. Very nicely done, Jesse. If only you knew the creators of Wiggles and could ask them how to use it. All right, final plays of this one coming up. Cedric has just a few seconds on his clock and one tile on the bag. He's going to play Mol, M-O-L, and Martin quickly plays Glaive for a decent score, 22. Cedric is going to go over. Not that it matters too much. Spread is pretty unlikely to matter in this tournament. The only way point spread could be relevant is if there is a tie in the standings in both match wins and game wins, then spread would be the third tiebreaker. But you never know. You do have to play out every game just in case your spread points matter for standings later on. And it looks like Martin's going to win by almost 150 in the end of this one. So the score goes to 2-1 in favor of Martin. Nice work by Martin. DeMello starting to pull away here, 2-1. And we'll be heading into game four momentarily, I'd imagine. Looks like Jesse's now up 2-0 on Eamon Zufari, and they are playing game three as we speak. Waiting on the start of game four here between Cedric and Martin. Looks like they're taking a quick breather. Hope everybody out there is doing well, having a pleasant Thursday night / Friday morning. Hope you're enjoying the Blitz Championship coverage so far. I know it's been fun from my end. All right, game four getting started, and it'll be Martin's turn to go first. He's got little bit of a clunker, 6 consonants, but you can play through it, I'm sure. Something like calf, K-A-P-H is probably called for here. He plays Gap, and Budak plays Apud right away. Nice bingo from Cedric. So Cedric falls behind 2-1, but he starts strong here in game 4, looking to even the series. Martin plays short. It's okay for 26, and a very good draw right out of the bag for Cedric. He's got a very likely bingo with Tyler's blank. He plays Glister for 74. That'll work. And strange rack for Martin, but there's some scoring potential there. He plays Hay for 31. And I see Love Seat as a bingo for Cedric, and Cedric sees it too. Okay, Love Seat for 65. 3 bingos to start for Cedric. 210 to 69. A big, big start for Cedric Lewis in this one. Martin using a little bit more of his clock than he has in previous games. He's already over a minute used. Cedric is playing very, very quickly. So far, it's working for him. He's drawing bingos and seeing them fast and playing them fast. Only about 25 seconds off the clock so far for Cedric. Martin gets a big Z plays in for 39. He's still down by about 100, though. The X is on Cedric's rack. I'm not sure if there's a great way to use the X. I see just the simple drop the X play XI for 34 play. Keeps him with a little bit of a weird leave, though. I'm not sure if he wants to do that. Cedric taking his time to think about his options here with the X. He plays Ale, holding on to it, and he has another weird rack, CIIOVXY. He plays Coxib, nice. That'll unload some of the weird tiles and score 38 in the process. So Cedric continues to score well. He's up by over 100 still. And on turn, 279, 174. He plays Wad for 40. Boy, Cedric just doesn't stop scoring points. So Martin needs to make something happen in this one. I don't believe there's a bingo in this rack of AGENSTW. He's got wet sand. That's not too useful. And the sad thing is, he would love to play the word wad, but the best spot for wad was just taken when Cedric played wad. So he's got to find, I guess, the next best spot to play off those tiles. And he does play wad. So back-to-back plays of wad. And Cedric takes out the triple right away with yin. Both triples, in fact. Ooh. Taisane Q. Awkward rack for Martin. Oh, someone in the chat points out that Unwasted would have played from the Jew and Brew, making a gape. That's a nice spot. Didn't see that. Also, for being honest, I wasn't sure Unwasted was good, but I just checked it is. So, a missed opportunity there for Martin. But it looks like Cedric is going to win this game either way. He is just going very strong here in game 4, and he's going to be, in a matter of time, wrapping up this game, I believe. Martin is getting pretty low on the clock, and he's still pretty low on the scoreboard. 219 with 16 tiles in the bag. Not great. I think he's had some racks this game that have been close to bingos, but not quite, and he's had to kind of fish his way through it, and just hasn't come up with the tiles he's needed here. Martin's going to go over on the clock. And he is still looking for something to do with this F and his M and his D, all these weird consonants that just don't really go anywhere on this board. He plays a rind eventually. And I would imagine that there's going to be a triple blocking play from Cedric here. Really just anything to block the triple, whether it's evade or, yeah, evade is indeed the play. Okay. Just don't let him get that 9-timer and you're going to be all right here. If you're up by 120, any block will do. So 6 tiles on the rack for Martin, all 7 still for Cedric. Koh-i-Noor doesn't go anywhere on this board. What else can Cedric do? He plays Icon. And Mutter comes down to end the game, and that'll be it. So your final score is 454 to 344, 110-point win for Cedric, and the series is now even at 2 games apiece. So we've seen this one swing back and forth. Cedric wins game 1, Martin wins games 2 and 3, and then Cedric takes the 4th. So we're even 2-2. We are playing 9 games in the series. No matter who wins how many, we're going to play all 9. Looks like so far we might need all 9 to find out who wins. It's been close so far. First to 5 wins the match. Waiting on these 2 players to get started with game number 5. Looks like they're going to have a brief little interlude, and we'll let you know when they get started. But checking briefly on Jesse Day and Ayman Zufari, it looks like those 2 guys are now in game 4. Jesse leads 3 games to 0 so far, and he has lead in game 4 as well. So a strong match for Jesse so far. Anyway, we get started now with game 5, Cedric and Martin. And fixed for 46, a strong start from Cedric. If a match is 5-4, but none of the games are close, is it a meta banger? I think any match that's 5-4 is a banger, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm biased, admittedly. Mab, that's a phony 3, Martin. What are you doing? MAB is on the board and it is so far unchallenged. They didn't add that, did they? I'm starting to worry. No, it's definitely not good. It's bam, when she could have played in the same spot for the same score. So Mab is just sitting there unchallenged. It'll stay unchallenged. Okay. Martin gets away with 1. Tingler Ringlet is on the rack for Martin, and he finds trebling through a B. Nice play. Okay, so Martin takes the lead a little bit, but Cedric's got some potent scoring tiles. He's got the Z. He plays Milts. So close game so far, 95 to 90, and it's Cedric scoring well with the Z, and now it's Martin on turn. What do you do with AAC and OPY? You play Yo for 23, okay. Board is starting to dry up a little bit for scoring spots. And Martin, he plays Merv, okay. He gets rid of the V and scores 15. Yeah, not the prettiest board so far. Cafe for 26 is a nice score on a fairly closed board for scoring spots. And it's back to Cedric, who's got Guiders, and maybe he'll try Mabs. Oh, Puneet points out there's a valid hook for Mab. Mabe is a word. You can actually play Guiders making Mabe. It's so hard finding the valid hooks for the phony words, you know what I mean? But, yeah, so Guiders and Mabe looks to be the play here. If Cedric finds it, he does not. He plays Sig. And a quick play of Payon for 28. Nice play from Martin to score pretty well with a pretty mediocre rack full of L's. So Cedric burns 2 S's to play Cust for 38. We got ourselves a game here. Ooh, Royalized for 88. Cedric busts it open. He's now got a pretty good lead. It is challenged and it comes back good. +5 for Cedric. Martin has the other blank, though. We can see if he can find a bingo with it. It doesn't look too easy to do. I think Indwelt just barely fits, making Royalized. That is a hard one to spot, though. He plays Widen, which is just as good almost. I mean, you keep your blank and score 47 right away. Can't argue with it. I see a hot spot for the K. And yeah, Duke is a pretty reasonable play there. 37 points for Cedric, and he's got a 50-point lead. But Martin's got upright blank, and he plays updaters through the D. So Martin takes a small lead. Looks like a pretty bingo-prone rack for Cedric, but I don't see the bingo in it. Needs an I for Tentoria, a Y for Attorney, and so on, but I don't think anything actually plays. This is one of those tough positions where you can't find a bingo, you're pretty low on time, it's a close game, there's a couple of scoring spots you gotta be worried about your opponent hitting. This is a hard position to evaluate in a speed game. Wow, okay, Cedric goes aggressive, playing Tent and opening the 9-timer. The other 9-timer, there's already one open. Wish is a good scoring play, and then Eterio comes down right away for Cedric. So Cedric takes a small lead with 4 in the bag. Martin down by 19. He's still got some time on the clock. Let's see what he can come up with here. Not going to bingo with this 5 vowel rack, but can you score a little bit and keep it close? 4 in the bag. Let's see what he comes up with. Not easy. You'd love to have like a 3-tile play that scores well. He fishes the E. He plays Rue for 15, or he fishes the R and the E, excuse me. Ooh, join. A big score from Cedric. And I don't think Martin drew what he wanted. He's just got too many vowels. It's almost a bingo like Rousseau or nauseous, but not quite. So a tough game for Martin. He definitely had his chances, but Cedric with a big play of Royal Eyes and got down Eterio late to add to his lead, and it looks like Martin's just not quite going to have enough to come back. So a pretty thrilling match so far. We saw Cedric win game 1, Martin took games 2 and 3, and now Cedric is going to have wins in game 4 and likely 5 as well as they finish this one out. Cedric is Q-stuck, but that's not going to be enough. 448, 417, your final, and Cedric takes the lead in the series now, 3 games to 2. This has been interesting. Lots of twists and turns in this series. Players taking turns, stealing the series lead at 1-0 to 2-1 to 3-2. And we'll see if Martin can draw even again in game number 6. They'll probably get started in just a little bit. Checking on Jesse Day, he now leads his series 4 games to none. And he's in a close game against Eamon Zufari in game number 5. All right, game 6, Cedric and Martin. Immediately, Cedric is in trouble as Martin opens with Not Like for 80. Pretty important game for Martin. He does not want to fall behind 4-2 and have his back up against the wall. Got to win this one to keep this match close. A lot of consonants to deal with for Cedric. He plays Fez, F-E-Z for 28, holding 4 of those 6 consonants he had. I see Stewiest on the rack for Martin. If he can find that one, it'll be a pretty big lead for him. He does find it. All right, so it's 174 to 28. Martin needs a win in this game, and it looks like he's in very good shape to get it. A big, big, big lead early. But Cedric has the second of the 2 blanks. Ooh, I'm seeing a mention of verbless in the chat. I'm not sure if verbless is a word. I know now. Oh, Nownless and verbless are both good. Okay, verbless does play here. Actually plays for quite a bit through that S. At the top of the board through Stewiest. Definitely not a word you can easily be sure of unless you've studied it recently, but at this score, you might have to just try it because you're in a pretty desperate spot already. Oh, servable, that works too. Okay. Not quite as much as verbless, but if it's what you're more confident of being good, makes sense to play it. Joy is a pretty high-scoring J play for Martin, and after Bodega for 30 from Cedric, it's back to Martin again. He's got Corvina. So he plays KV instead. So 36 points for KV. And a rack of ADHLORT for Cedric. Definitely something you can score with, but he's in a situation now where he needs to bingo twice at least to come back, so he's probably not thrilled to be drawing a rack like that. He does play Doth for 30, but he's got to score more than 30 soon enough to get back in this one. Vowel heavy rack for Martin. He's got anorexia minus the X. Yeah, doesn't look too good for him here. There's ways you can play through it though. You can play something like Aya, AIA. Plays for I think 15 in the top right there. Definitely ways to play through this rack, and Martin does have a little bit of a points cushion right now, up by almost 100. If you're just joining us, this is the first week of the World Blitz Scrabble Championship, and this is the first match being played by both Martin DeMello and Cedric Lewis. Cedric, the 5 seed, and Martin, the 6 in Group Dingo, Group D. I myself am in their group. I'm Evans Clinchy. I'll be playing both of these guys later in this same tournament, and I'm looking forward to it. I am enjoying scouting two of my opponents here. Two pretty strong Blitz players, as they've shown so far in this match. Cedric got the better of Martin in game 1. Martin got games 2 and 3, and then Cedric won games 4 and 5. He leads 3 games to 2, and Martin needs to stay ahead in this one to even the series 3 games apiece. We'll see if he can do it, or if Cedric's got a comeback in him. For Cedric, he's been just drawing a lot of these kind of intermediate racks that can easily score 30 but can't bingo. And when you're down 100 points, that is not what you want to see. Oh, did I miss aeration? Yeah, see, that's why I'm not going to win this tournament. No, thanks for pointing out aeration. Yeah, I did not see that at all. Oh boy. It's okay. I don't feel shame anymore. I've just come to terms with it. I don't see words like aeration. So Dirndl is the play from Cedric to just kind of play through some of these 1 and 2 point tiles. Martin scores well with the X. He's up by 117 now. And yeah, Cedric just can't get the tiles to flow tonight. Or not tonight, just in this game, I should say. Almost a 100-point lead for Martin still. 24 tiles in the bag. Martin's got that dreaded WU combination right now. We'll see if he can do something to get rid of those. But yeah, he plays Wud for 7. Actually, Wud's pretty interesting because it blocks off bingos in line 13. And oh, there's Energia for Martin. If he finds this, well, maybe he shouldn't play Energia and open the 9 timer. At this score, maybe it's better not to play it. But he's going to play it anyway. Cedric plays Interior. Opening more 9 timers because why not? And Martin's up by 69 points with 6 in the bag. Might want to play something like Gru or Grice. He plays Gru, just taking out that triple. And tough spot for Cedric. Looks like he's got Punition that just barely doesn't fit. He plays Point for 35. A nice scoring play there to keep the final score a little more respectable. But in any event, it does look like Martin is going to win game 6, and he's going to even the series at 3 games apiece. I wanted a close, dramatic match between these two players, and it looks like I'm going to get my wish. I've been trying to highlight this weekend the more evenly matched matchups in the pairings, and all the 5 seeds are playing the 6 seeds in their groups to open the series. So we're going to see a lot of 5 versus 6 action, and Martin and Cedric is one example of that. These are the 2 most evenly matched players in Group D, and they're facing off here in Week 1. All right, so they're playing out the final tiles here, and it looks like the final score is going to be Martin 490, Cedric 395. So the match score was 3 games to 2. It is now 3 games to 3, and we will have a final 3 games, winner take all for the match. Games 7, 8, and 9 are coming up. This has been fun. We've seen some fireworks. We've seen some big bingos. We've seen some phony threes. We've seen it all. And these next 3 games will decide who wins the match. Yes, there was an available bingo of Punation. good call by Wayman in the chat. Punation. Jesse Day is looking like he's on his way to be 6-0 against Ayman Zufari. He has had a very strong match so far. He is just wrapping up game number 6 in his series. As for Cedric and Martin, looks like they're taking a brief timeout before starting game number 7, but we will be sitting tight and waiting for them. 470 to 395. Martin won game 6. He had a couple of big dingos early, Nut-like to open, and then Studious is a double-double. There was just no catching up for Cedric Lewis. Waiting on game 7 between Martin and Cedric. I think it's getting pretty late in Cedric's time zone. He's in New York City, I believe. About 10:40 p.m. local time on Thursday night. I want to say welcome to all the viewers in the U.S. tuning in for this one. Also, welcome to those who are overseas, and happy Friday morning to you all. I see Wabin. Hope you're enjoying your Friday. I hope I'm doing my time zone math correctly as well. I think it's Friday morning for you. I can just Google that, right? What time is it in Singapore? And the answer is 11:42 a.m. Okay. Waiting on game 7, Martin and Cedric. I'm guessing somebody took a quick bathroom break or something. It's been a fun series, though. Got to see a lot of exciting games. None particularly close. Haven't had any close end games or anything like that yet, but it's been fun. We've seen some fireworks for sure. I see Jesse is in the chat playing his match and chatting with us at the same time. Impressive work by Jesse. Jesse, looks like you're doing pretty well so far in your match. 6-0, I believe. So Martin and Cedric tied 3 games to 3, and game 7 is coming up as soon as these guys get it started. Ooh, I'm getting word from Cedric that there's an issue with the Wiggle server. He says server down. I wasn't aware of any server issues. I'm watching Jesse play his match just fine. That's strange. I'll tell him, really? Seems to me like it's working. See if he responds. So that is unfortunate. Martin is saying that he's still online and his opponent is connected. So I think the issue is on Cedric's end. We are waiting for Cedric to figure out his connection issues and get back into the match. They are tied 3-3, and we will try to get them to resume when they can. Cedric is privately telling me that he really thinks the server's down, but I really don't think he's correct about that. He's going to try and reconnect. We will see what's going on with him. I see 14 Domino in the chat who should know, says the server is doing okay, so that's good to hear. Anyway, this is a nice dramatic pause to the end of this match as these players are tied 3-3, and we'll have a little dramatic pause before we find out who wins games 7, 8, and 9. Cedric says he is still trying to reconnect. It should work, Cedric. I'm not sure what the issue is. Looks like Jesse Day and Ayman Zufari are still doing just fine with their connection. They're having a close game in game 7 of their series. Ayman leads by by 8, 193, 185 against Jesse so far. Cedric is still trying to reconnect. We'll see what happens there. I guess I should hop over and check on Jesse's game while we're waiting. Oh, or they're back. Just kidding. Okay. So after a brief dramatic pause, like I said, we are getting underway with Game 7 between Cedric and Martin, and Martin draws first blood with Jones for 40. A nice J play to get him started scoring. Followed up with Waff, and he's up 69 to 10. Pretty good edge early in this one for Martin. Game number 7 of this 9-game series, pivotal game. Whoever wins this one will have their opponent with their back to the wall, forcing them to win the last 2. Then again, these guys have been going back and forth, taking turns winning a couple in a row. So it would not surprise me at all if somebody were to lose Game 7 and win games 8 and 9. Martin has been scoring well. Fetid for 35, but 41 for a peak coming right back is the play from Cedric. Living plus a blank looks like probably a bingo for Martin. I see Inveigle into the E as a double-double. Livings making Fs is also a lot of points, so definitely plenty of options for Martin here. He's going to take his time and find the best one. Okay, rivaling, that's a pretty strong one too. 72 for rivaling. Ooh, that gives back a big play of Haum in the bottom left corner, I see. At least I think that's good. Haum? Like I said, very rusty. No, it's Huma. Haum's no good. Ignore me. Something above the I in rivaling might be better than something like Hum. So the series is 3-3 right now. It was 3-3 and then they got disconnected. I'm like 99% sure of that, but if I'm wrong, you can let me know. Let's go check the games and make sure of that. Looks like we've got wins for Budak, Zem, Budak, and Zem. Yeah, they're 3-3. Okay, so a close game here, 196, 176. 20-point lead for Martin. He's on turn. Relic is a nice play from Martin to score pretty well. And he draws a Mebian, but I don't think that's going to go anywhere on this board. Oh, yes, it does. He has a Mebian underneath Relic, making Era and 10. Oh, he plays Abo. Okay, so Cedric catches the break, but he's still down by 50, and he's got a little bit of an awkward rack. He's got the Q. Not seeing any great spots for the Q. I guess you could play QAT up top next to Mirror. Yeah, that's what he does. Okay, 32 for Cat, and now looks like an easy cannot. Yeah, 42 for Martin. And Martin adds to his lead a little bit, 288, 229. I see St. Monday in the chat confirming it's 3-3. I think there's an error in maybe Woogles counted a game that didn't actually get played because there was a disconnect. That would be my guess. But yeah, in games they've actually played, it's 3-3. And Martin has the lead here in Game 7, 322, 262, and he's got the blank. I don't know if there's bingo. Okay, yeah, there's scooted. That's one bingo that he has. Martin might be just missing the spot in line 14 underneath Relic because he didn't see a Meeb in there either. It's definitely tough to have perfect board vision in speed games. You got to look as fast as you can to find the best play you can, and you're going to overlook spots sometimes. Oh, he does find Scooted. Okay. So Martin's up by over 120 now. So Martin DeMello, after falling behind in the match, is now going to take the lead 4 games to 3, it looks like. These two players playing out the string here. 6 tiles on Martin's rack, 7 on Cedric's. And Cedric is going to have to do the best he can to make up some spread, but Martin's going to win game 7. Oh, Deldar points out in the chat that Relict is also a hook that is hard to find. Yeah, Relic taking a T. So Bulges comes down, and then Martin continues to score very well in the end game. So another game that starts out close and then somebody pulls away late. 469, 315 your final, and Martin DeMello now 1 win away from winning the match. He's up 4 games to 2. Or 4 games to 3, rather. So 4-3, and it's a must-win for Cedric in game 8. Cedric to open, he plays Fitted for 28. Martin exchanges, keeping a pretty vowel-heavy lead of AEIN. Interesting. And he draws a pretty vowel-heavy rack of AEILNO. He's going to play through the vowels, but Cedric has the consonants to score with. Something like vermin here might be good. Okay, Derv, that's pretty good scoring play as well, keeping MNR. 73-13, but Martin has the bingo. He has aligners. Martin takes the lead. He is 1 win away from winning the match. Martin is, according to his seed, the underdog in this match. He's the 6th seed in Group D, and Cedric is the 5. So Martin would love to score this victory. Looking to win game 8 and seal the deal. Oh my God, I just noticed that LOE was played. LOE was an overlap of Derv, I believe, played by Cedric. Yeah, Martin played OE and then Cedric played Derv, making low. Didn't even notice that. High quality Scrabble play indeed. 127-104, small lead for Martin. I see Chaco PB in the chat, perhaps scouting out his opponents to see who plays phony threes. It's good to know that, isn't it? All right, Vaught comes down for 22 from Martin. We might have our actual, honest to God, first close game of this match. We'll see. Martin up by 14. Cedric on turn. Plays the Y for a decent score. 29 for you. 31 for the H from Martin. These players taking turns taking a small lead. And Chaco PB, if you're in the chat taking notes, so far the phony tally is 1 phony 3 for each of them. So that's good information to know. We saw Mab earlier come down from Martin, and now low from Cedric. Landers, wow, so just blowing up the rack for 18 points is the choice from Cedric. 182-180, he's up by 2 points. Gox, 33-pointer from Martin, and the first blank shows up on Cedric's rack. I'm not sure if there's a bingo with this rack exactly. He plays Fa for a good score, though. 42, keeping unto blank. Ooh, Martin's got the other blank. He's got Antra's blank. He's definitely going to bingo with this. Although it's a pretty hard board, but I'm sure he's going to find something. Vaunters from the V would be an option. Verdance, that works too. Okay, so Martin takes the lead. He's up by 61. Ooh, quotient with a blank Q. That's pretty cool. Oh, Verdance isn't a word. That came off the board. Okay. So Cedric challenges off the phony, plays quotient. And it's a smart idea to put the Q in the triple lane because he knows his opponent's got AENRST blank. Yeah, Vaunters or Ventrals, as Jello Mokas points out, would have been a valid choice. But now he's got that wide open U to play through. He plays Saunters. And Cedric now has the lead thanks to that free turn that he got. He's up by 13 and he's on turn. He plays Cobb for a good score, 35. And no spot for Atropine. I don't believe there's a bingo that plays with this rack from Martin. You can play something like Apo and hope to draw something next turn. Still 15 in the bag, long way to go. A top, okay, that'll be fine. 27 pointer there. Fairly close game. Cedric up by 21 and on turn. It's probably going to be tough to win without a bingo for Martin, but not impossible, I would say. Oh, Martin would have had Benitier, but he blocked his own bingo with a top. Instead, he plays Bite, 24 pointer. Still a small lead for Cedric, 22 points now, with 4 in the bag. After his play of cut, that is. Ooh, brutal cue for Martin. Don't want to see that if you're Martin. There is just no spot for it. You don't have the right tiles to play it off. What can you do with that? He plays Racco, R-A-Q-O. I'm not sure what that was about, but it's coming off the board. That might just be a creative way of surrendering for Martin DeMello here. So after Racco, what do you do with that if you're Cedric? You know your opponent's got the cue. Maybe you just pass. You probably don't need to pass. You know that your opponent has the cue, so you don't need to worry about drawing it. I guess just play anything that doesn't get back a cue spot. Yeah, res is fine. Just a brutal position for Martin with the cue and no way to use it. But yeah, this game came down to that turn where he played Verdance, and he just gave the free turn that Cedric needed to take the lead, and then Cedric took that free turn and ran with it. So we're going to have our dramatic finish to this match. And I see Coco Scrabble in the chat, which is not me, by the way, that's Jennifer, saying that they could tie game 9 and have a 4.5 tie. Just in case that happens, I will note that the rules say you play a game 10 if you're tied 4.5 to 4.5. That is highly unlikely to happen, but you just never know. The final is 450 to 335. Cedric wins game 8, and it will be coming down to a deciding game 9. Cedric 4, Martin 4. So game 9 starting right now, and it is Martin to go first. He's got Jive and a bunch more vowels with it. I imagine we'll see Jive coming down. And he does play Jive, and ooh, difficult rack for Cedric, 7 consonants. He plays Fry, he doesn't want to exchange. And Martin's got Aconite, the easy bingo for him, and still a tough rack for Cedric. He plays Chin, Q-I-N. Azure comes down pretty quickly for Martin, so Martin's up by 100 in this deciding 9th game. And Cedric come back. He's got to play through some consonants this turn, maybe something like Blob or something like that. Yeah, he does play Blob. Martin's got Hillo, maybe, underneath Jiver, making J-O. Scores pretty well. What else could he have here? Okay, just OH. That's a shorter play, but scores pretty well, 22. Cedric plays Opt, keeping EGMNR, hoping to draw an ING bingo through that I, no doubt. Martin hitting a rough patch, difficult tiles. He plays Hui for 29, pretty good score with that rack. No bingo for Cedric yet. Oh, Monger and Razier, nice play, hooking the R onto Azure. So a 26-point play there from Cedric. He's still down by a lot, though. Martin now up over 100 after he plays Loud. and it's a difficult board to bingo on. Yeah, Cedric has words like twicers, but just, yeah, no spot for a 7-letter word, that's for sure. And it's going to be hard to find. It's hard to find an 8 either, yeah. So he fishes with the C, opening up a spot for Scup, and he does draw waivers. Okay, waivers for 82, and he's back in at 36-point game. This could get close. Quickly, the X-bomb from Martin, though, 86-point lead. There's the second blank for Cedric. Okay, this could get very interesting. I believe urinals is a word that does not play. That might be the only 7. Urinals and laurels, those are the only 7s in this rack. He plays YE, opening a spot in line 3 for a bingo. What can Martin do about that? He plays ale, blocking the spot, but I think Cedric's going to bingo anyway. He's got AEL, RSU blank. He can take his pick of bingos. Yeah, Estrel, that works. Okay, Martin's up by 17. 24 tiles in the bag. This is going to be close. It all comes down to these last 24 tiles. The whole match hanging in the balance. Minute and 36 seconds on Martin's clock. Plenty of time. Relatively, anyway. Mesquite said is not a word. I don't like that at all. Yeah, that comes off. And Cedric gets a free turn. Down by only 17. He plays Aya to unload some vowels. Martin plays Kissed for 31. Close game. Cedric down by, 35 and on turn. Still pretty vowel heavy. Got to play through it. 17 tiles in the bag. What do you do if you're Cedric? Not a lot of great spots for these vowels, really. But you got to score something. Okay, Mead for 30. Oh, sorry, he played Toga and then Martin played Mead. Okay. 50-point deficit now, 53 to be exact, and just a difficult rack to score points with for Cedric. This is going to be tough for him. 18 seconds left. 17, 16. He plays Vogue, keeping AEITT. I don't know. Very difficult board. I'm not sure if he's got anything to fish for in particular. There is that spot in line 6 for anything underlapping AW. If he can hit a bingo there, he's got a shot at it. For Martin, how do you defend? Oh, you play 9. Nice play to defend against that spot. Not that Cedric had anything anyway. 8 seconds left on his clock. He's probably going to go over. He plays Tatted, swinging the board wide open, and wow, Martin crushes him with fade in. So Martin DeMello comes back and wins the match. Wow. Your final score is Martin 483, Cedric 344. Martin wins the match 5-4. Very impressive finish. Close match all the way, and Martin in the end is victorious 5-4. You know, this is why I chose to broadcast these middle seeded games, these 5s versus 6s. I thought I'd get a close match, and boy, did we. 5-4 is your final. Martin DeMello victorious over Cedric Lewis. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. This was a pretty exciting finish. A close game all the way. Martin playing the phony late in the game with Mesquite spelled incorrectly, but he manages to just barely hold on anyway. And then he plays fade-ins to bingo out for 92, win the game, and win the match. Congratulations to Martin on a hard-fought victory, 5-4. Really hard-fought by Cedric as well. He comes up just short. So Cedric and Martin, week 1 in the bag. We'll be back with week 2 for you guys soon enough. There is more Scrabble to be played for you both. But thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will have more Scrabble coming up later in the weekend for sure. We're going to have, I believe, V Hyacinth and 14 Domino both streaming their matches tomorrow night, U.S. time, and then after that, an action-packed Saturday. We got Benji, we got James Curley. If you guys, you can't see my screen, forget it. I won't show that because I haven't sized the winners correctly. But anyway, whole lot of Scrabble to be played. Hope you all join us this weekend. Check out the website, cocoscrabble.org. Get all the pairings and schedule and stuff there. And yeah, I want to say thanks for tuning in, and we're back next time. So long.